Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS and the inventor of the CTKS method and BORSOG trading. If you're new, a very warm welcome and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin is currently up 1.29% to 2220. Ethereum is up 4.81% to 1542. When you look at a market like this, do you think, oh, this is fantastic, everything's repaired, I'm going to go all in and more? Or do you sit back a little bit and get a broader context on the market? That latter choice is the better choice, and I'll explain why. But firstly, if you're going through a life pullback, or if family members are going through a life pullback, please know that our community's love and healing thoughts are with you. You're not alone. The sun will come out again, and there's always hope. As crypto technical analysts, we look at the market with a very, very different lens. We want to understand what's happening inside the engine of the financial markets globally. And when we look at the probability of a 75 basis point increase in the next Fed meeting, FOMC meeting, it's currently 72.5%. Now, this was up from a month ago of 28%. So if you can think about it, a month ago, we were about here, and it's come up to here from 28 roughly up to 72.5. I still believe that a 100 basis point increase will be on the cards, even possibly made at the next Fed meeting. And that will occur in 22 days. A lot of people were expecting a 50 basis point increase in the federal funds rate. From what Jerome said and running the numbers each and every day, we know 50 basis points is off the table. And why do we know that? It actually comes from Jerome Powell's speech at Jackson Hole. He explicitly tells us. In episode 635, I went through this with a fine-tooth comb, but the key is we are taking forceful and rapid steps to moderate demand. This is really important. A lot of people cherry pick the good parts out of this particular speech. And don't forget, this is a legal speech. This is a speech that was created by speech writers. The Fed chairman said that they will need to restore price stability. That will take some time and requiring the use of their tools to forcefully bring demand and supply into better balance. I've seen so many newspaper articles quote this: it will bring some pain to households and businesses, but they don't quote the other things that are said in this particular speech. And very few journalists are actually talking about what the particular thing the Fed is trying to head off, if you like. It's rational inattention. The concept is when inflation gets baked into household and business decision making, it becomes not only sticky, it becomes ingrained. One association that is very much missed in mainstream press is the concept that the indices and inflation actually follow each other to a large degree. When inflation is going up, it's because at the moment things are going well and the markets are going up. And you can see when the markets came down, for example, when NASDAQ and Bitcoin came down, the 10-year inflation rate and the 5-year break-even inflation rate also came down. But when the NASDAQ started to recover and Bitcoin started to recover, we saw the 10-year and the 5-year starting to spike. And this is why Jerome and the Federal Reserve is going to have to take really heavy action, and a lot heavier than most people think. This incoming volatility actually creates a trader's market, and Rule 4, price moves in waves. Price is always going up and down and up and down, and as traders we can take advantage of that. And something to keep in mind when we look at the MSCI ACWI, which is all about developed markets and emerging markets, we can see that there's been sustained price increases or sustained increases across developed and emerging market countries. But now we've absolutely sliced through that line. We've actually lost support. Let's have a look at what happened with markets in the past trading session. The VIX spike, then came down a little bit, which drove prices down, then they came up a little. And you can see that behavior in the NASDAQ 100. But what we actually see is we've broken support in the NASDAQ 100. That's never a good thing. And this line of support at 12,847 is a really key line. It's a very strong buy line. And now it's becoming a very strong sell line. Will price come up and retest that line? Because we can see we're already under resistance. It's not as if we've had a little bounce in the market and everything is fine. And you can see, for example, the blue line in the background. This is Bitcoin's price action, Bitcoin's gravity. You can see that particular line is not going anywhere. It but down. Bitcoin is under resistance. The major indices are under resistance too. Bond prices are starting to level off as we see bond yields starting to go up. Gold hit its support line and just bounced, and the dollar got over its particular resistance line that it's been trying to turn to support for some time. It spiked up, but I would like you to be aware there's an enormous amount of resistance up higher around the 120 mark, so just bear that in mind. And when we look at oil is starting to go for it. It consolidated around this support line, and remember, price is always moving up and down until it forms a good base. Then it can go somewhere. And we can see the put call ratio has absolutely spiked. So many people are going bearish, and the junk bonds are actually coming down. So from a high risk investment perspective, risk is exiting the market, and that's why Bitcoin has been particularly hard hit. And when we look at the main markets, we've seen the NASDAQ actually hit that resistance line, not be able to hold it and sell down. We've had technically an undercut of support. We've had a rejection from resistance. We just have to see where the NASDAQ may come down to. But with the very hawkish, which means very bearish, comments from the Federal Reserve Chairman, we would expect to see increasing interest rates, which actually increases the cost of borrowing money, which is felt globally all around the world. And we can see the major indices all selling off, except for Russia. And China is starting to turn the corner, which is really good. We want to see these economies get back on their feet. Your goal as a professional smart money trader or investor is to apply Rule 252, prepared, not scared. If we look at the past sell-offs, 9 sell-offs in the S&P 500 since 1966, and we just overlay that on current price, you can see that we could get some positive action and we could get negative action. But one thing is absolutely undeniable. If you buy at the right time, you will do incredibly well. Look at these percentage increases. Even when price comes down, if you position yourself correctly, if you're on the right side of the percentage, you will make incredible returns. And that's what we're all about. We're not scared of red at all. In fact, we love it. The concept is we need to time it properly. And we don't have to catch every little molehill and every little bump in the road, upwards bump. We look at the main markets because of Rule 225. Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. As crypto is so incredibly volatile, we will see red and we will see green. It's all part and parcel of price moving in a wave. Just as we look at the stock market, we must look at Bitcoin's gravity in order to understand our beloved alts movements. We can see that the crypto market is again under extreme fear. And you'll see the crypto market is always under a degree of extreme fear. When price comes down, that's when fear increases. But price coming down is not necessarily a bad thing. If you buy correctly, you will do really, really well just going long. And that's what we do with BORSOG. BORSOG is all about synchronizing yourself in with the market, just using really, really small position sizes and then scaling when you're in synchronization. Let's have a look at Bitcoin on a daily basis. And what do we see here? There was one level of resistance made, another level of resistance made here, and yet another level here. And now there's another level, level 4. Where is price? Price is under first, second, and third level resistance. It's also under fourth. You might remember a couple of days ago I said that we could get a spike up to this 21,133 mark, which would just be a rebounding of buying support for this support level that we crossed underneath. Remember, if you cross underneath a support level, it's already weak. It's already been cracked. And what do we see here? This particular support level playing up is a really key. It's a major support level, and we dip below it. The fact that we came back and dipped above it and have been rejected from the third level of resistance doesn't really go that well. Yes, it's positive, and yes, the market looks green. And this will suck so many people back into the crypto market at the wrong time. So does that mean it can't come up? For example, this 4.62%. Absolutely it can, because price is always moving in a wave. But the problem that we face is this particular purple line. I'll just explain more. The current price of Bitcoin is 20,146. This Armageddon line is at 18,942. Armageddon basically means that there's not a lot of price support underneath this line. If it dips below and it's lost its particular support levels, it can sell down quite dramatically or traumatically. We want to get into the sweet spot of the market. That means we don't have to participate in every up or down in the market. Sometimes it's a good idea to chill. If we go back to mid-March of 2020, when the COVID-19 and US liquidity crisis hit the market, we saw an amazing sell-off inside the market and then an absolute incredible rebound. This was potentially the best time ever to buy, but most people would be running for the hills. I would suggest we could be looking at a similar thing coming up in the next couple of months. What does this mean? Does it mean that we don't participate in the market for a couple of months? No, not at all. We can actually just cherry pick, but you've got to have your risk management strategies firmly in place. You want to always bank your profit, gain synchronization with the market, and then scale. Just knowing that this could occur is important, because a lot of people don't think that it could occur, but it can. And if it does, this is the single best time to come into the market, when you see an absolutely climactic sell-off, a capitulation candle like this. They're absolute gold to get into, or Bitcoin. But the concept is so many people absolutely run the other way. That's why I like to show this little cartoon, because everybody's really happy when price goes up. We can think of these people on the dance floor, the dance floor of the exchange, as retail. Think as traders and investors. But smart money is different. Smart money looks for these climactic sell-offs and gets involved with them. Smart money is always invisible because it's less than 5% of the trading and investing community is smart money. And that's what we are as a community. We love these red days. We love these red dips. But remember, not all dips are created equal. Rule 252 is a very nuanced diamond rule. It's got many facets. You're prepared, not scared. You understand that a 50% decrease from, say, $10 to $5, that's 50%. But if it goes back from 5 to 10, that's 100% gain. That's what you're after. You want to minimize the downside and maximize the upside. You are prepared, not scared. You're actively patient. And thank you for sharing, Crypto Wolf. What goes down comes up a heck of a lot more. But with that in mind, this episode is very important to understand. When there's blood in the streets, there could be a lot more coming. Waiting for a turnaround and BORSOGing at the right levels is the key. You do not have to be in the market every waking moment, but you should always be observing it. Crypto Wolf, you're fantastic. It's okay to wait it out just a tad sometimes. Thank you, my friend. During times like this, it's good to take a breather, and masterclass students, I would recommend you going back into the CTKS method, going through the masterclass again. Only knowledge is rewarded in the market, and only smart money knowledge is rewarded. You must think about what the charts are telling you, where their hidden buy and support levels are, when their sell and resistance levels are as well. Then we need to look at checking world events, collecting probabilities, just like a really good detective. And then we must come back into crypto, finding the market's aim, focus, and understanding that opportunities reset every day. That's rule 28. And applying rule 109, enhancing your pattern recognition. Before you buy or sell, you must overcome fear, self-doubt, and self-sabotage. Self-doubt and self-sabotage, especially when it comes to money, can be very strong and incredibly hidden. That's why the Positive Excellence Real Wealth section is actually before the trigger section when you buy and sell inside the masterclass. Most people want to go here and just say, where do I buy, where do I sell, without any preparation psychologically or positionally or contextually or understanding the chart that they're looking at. And it's this reason that so many people lose money. How do you get yourself prepared and not scared? The first thing to do is use BORSOG ANF. Just think about it like a traffic light. You control the trade or investment, but the market controls the return. Is the market giving you the red light, the amber light, or the green light? The red light is that the market goes against you. You just can't make money out of the market. The market goes nowhere. That means it just goes flat, or it goes for you. You're making money. And we recommend just going at spot and just going long until you can learn. And there's many opportunities to go long in down markets. And we have a particular coding system that we use to actually assess how we feel about the market. And this is a personal feeling about the market in the next 24 hours and how synchronized we are with the market. And that code is just down here. It's got 3 components. The first component is a down, D, flat, F, or up, U. And then we just put 1 letter in there. The second component is just adding to 100%. What is the probability that we think it's going against us? In this case, this example, say 90%. For us, 5%. And the remainder, 5%. That's just neutral. So those numbers come into this second area. And the S75 is synchronization of 75%. This just means that we feel 75% synchronized with the market. It's a very personal feeling on that particular one. It's incomparable to anybody else's synchronization factor. And what we do in the community each and every day is active learning. Active learning acquires knowledge, and knowledge is the only thing that you will be paid for from the market. The market will pay for your knowledge. It is knowledge that creates profit. The market will never ever know you. It doesn't know any of us, but it pays you based on knowledge. And losses are just associated with a lack of knowledge. As soon as you make a loss, it's just a lesson. It's a lesson within a loss, a lesson. And you just look at it and say, okay, what can I learn to do better next time? If you're reaching out, getting into blame and conflict or jealousy, seeing other people succeed and you feel that you should be succeeding and not knowing why they're succeeding, it all comes down to learning and courage and knowledge. Learning and courage will take you everywhere you want to go in life, but having positive excellence will make the trip worthwhile. And positive excellence is just about sustainable fulfillment, meaning, happiness, and success. A lot of people in crypto and in markets just focus on money, and then they think, why does it always elude me? I'm going for money, but it just comes and it goes all the time. Why? Because we just don't focus on money. Money is an output, not an input. Don't make it your target. Make other things targets. For example, kindness, gratitude, happiness, inner and outer peace, integrity and decency. If we look inside the crypto market, there are some founders that are very high on integrity and decency, and other founders who are very low and potentially absolutely no integrity and decency. How can these people look after your money? They don't care about you. They're just after everything they can get. They've made money their target. Of course, they're going to lose your money in the process and their own. As a crypto industry, if we could get rid of these people without integrity and decency, would be a lot better off. And there are some founders that are incredibly decent and have very, very high levels of integrity. They're people who will look after you in the back room when they're making decisions on what they do with things. And having inner and outer peace yourself is very, very important. If you're in turbulence, inner turbulence or outer turbulence, how can you focus or concentrate on anything to do with being profitable or being happy and finding fulfillment and meaning? These things will elude people until they get inner and outer peace. And of course, being over a half a century old, it's kind of good to look back to my younger days when I did my finance degree, and I'm a financial analyst, and I was looking at the Gordon Geckos, the Wall Street, and idolizing those people. As I grew older, I realized that those people are not to be idolized, they're to be avoided. Pursuing money for the sake of pursuing money is a very, very empty endeavor. You can be highly successful at it, and I have many friends that are highly successful. They're very, very wealthy people. They're very rich people, but they do not have fulfillment or meaning, and they are lacking a lot of these other boxes, which makes them absolutely miserable. It takes a lot of courage to actually implement Rule 252, prepared, not scared. In the comments today, let's have a chat about courage. You'll need courage to get back into the market when the market sees that it's repairing itself. You want to take advantage of that. You want to be really keen with your rise, wait for it, and then jump in and synchronize before you go heavy. Don't be worried at all about downturns like this. Just don't participate in them. If you're feeling like you need to take some profits off the table, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. For example, and of course we never realistically know when these drops will occur, but if you came back to February 2020 and you could go to cash for a period of time, and you can of course be riding these waves in between, just looking at your synchronization. And if you were fortunate enough to not participate, not get caught in the negative downside momentum of this, but actually be able to buy around the capitulation levels, which is what our community absolutely and utterly excels at, look at the gains that you would have made. And this is a normalization process. What absolutely occurs every single time we have one of these meltdowns is that we need to have a melt up as well. So that's why we don't care about the meltdowns. We want to participate near around the bottom of those meltdowns so we can be part of the melt up. Just be aware that the markets are really, really good at trapping people on the wrong side of the trade. You want to get on the right side of the percentage. If you do that, doesn't matter if you're on the wrong side of the trade, you will do really, really well. And in a market like this, please do whatever you can to preserve your capital. When we look at price action like this, of course, this $21,000 level is in play. But when we actually think, if price crossed across this resistance line and started to make its way back up, hey, that's good. That's very, very positive price action. So you must always remain open to price going for you, going against you, and going nowhere at all times. And then just jump in when the stars align. One thing to help us understand what is going on is we can look at the shorts and the longs. We can see the shorts have been coming out of the market. Of course, they've been covering. They've been very, very profitable. The longs have been coming out of the market. They were buying the dip, and now they're licking their wounds at the moment. Personally, I see shorts being covered in the market. And what are we looking at? 24-hour liquidations, about 153 million across a little over 49,000 positions. That's getting better in terms of getting more commitment inside liquidations. And across the past 24 hours, 67% of total liquidations were short. What about the past 12 hours? Whoa, 89% short. The shorts were getting whacked. What about the past 4 hours? 90% short. What about the past hour? 81% short. So you can see the shorts are starting to curl over. Basically, the shorts are getting liquidated at decreasing rates. And what do we see here? we can see that the majority of positions have been liquidated were short positions. That's because everybody was piling in. But when the big institutions come in, they're going to do some major wrecking inside the market. Now, why do we think that? Because the VIX is currently spiking up and we're entering periods of time which are known for very, very nasty market conditions in the stock market. September and October are generally pretty volatile months in the markets, and we know that Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity, so just bear this in mind. And when we look at global crypto market cap, it increased 3.08% to 982.87 billion in the last 24 hours. The greatest gainers in the top 100, LDO up 16%, synthetics 14.6% up, flow 12.5% up, compound 10.7%, uni 8.9%, and maker 8.8%. And we can see the greatest losers include quite a few stable coins. The greatest loser in the alts is Chili's at 2.53% down. That means the entire crypto top 100 moved up. We're getting it again, and I often ask this question of our beloved global family. What does it mean when stable coins are in the top losers of the top percentage losses in a particular day? It's an important question. Turning to the top crypto projects, we can see Ethereum following Bitcoin's gravity down. Even though we've had a little bit of a leg up on Bitcoin, we can see that Bitcoin is still under resistance. It's absolutely obvious from this, and so is Ethereum. What about Binance Coin? Is that under resistance? Yes, it is. It's under resistance as well. What about ADA, Cardano? From a steep level, it's just passing a resistance level. Whoa, good on you, Charles. Fantastic. XRP is moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity, as is Solana, as is Doge, as is DOT, and as is Matic. And we can see a different kind of pattern playing out on Matic. Matic has actually overcome a level of resistance here and is actually flatlining at the moment. This is showing a lot of strength relative to Bitcoin, and that's why it's actually ousted SHIB from the top 8. Top 8 alts. Let's have a dive into Matic and see some buy and sell levels. We've got a resistance level at 835 and a support level at 795. We've got a very strong one below it at 666. What a level. And we've got another stronger resistance level at 918. These particular buy and sell levels are formed from the CTKS method. And they're called Stanfield levels because it gives us an idea of where price structure meets the current price, and they're very, very valuable to draw. These lines actually reveal the buy-sell structure inside the market. They can guide all your decisions, and they're very, very powerful. And one thing to remember, they are dynamic. Understanding buy and sell structure levels gives you an incredible advantage over other investors and traders. It allows you to be more scientific on how you do your A&F probabilities and what the potential upside and potential downside could be on any specific thing that you trade. You'll learn all about the CTKS method inside the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass, which is a premium Rolls-Royce level masterclass on crypto technical analysis. And it uses the CTKS method, which is a method of technical analysis invented by me specifically for crypto that accounts for exponential price implosions and explosions and updates normal stock market and Forex technical analysis. And I'm going to be doing a major update and a major simplification of the CTKS method inside the masterclass over the next few weeks. I'll also put out an LV video on using Stanfield levels and actually creating them. So what you see in the foundation section, there are many, many different levels that you need to understand. Trend, many levels that you need to understand. Timing, real wealth, and positive excellence, and the trigger section. Following trigger, you'll get into the living videos, and I'll be putting the Stanfield levels in here as LV23. What you will actually find, the masterclass is living. It's not a static content. And if you would like to know why I actually created the masterclass, I have a video here which explains why I did it. It's all about knowledge transfer. And there's many different testimonials that you can read from people doing the masterclass. And each time we look at the crypto technical analyst structure, these are the components from the masterclass. There are 4 partial masterclass scholarships available: the Carey Chambers Scholarship, the Perperatum Scholarship, the Tails Scholarship, and the Ken Stanfield Scholarship as well. It's important to understand the masterclass is like a university degree. It's very onerous. It requires persistence, dedication, and commitment. Just do one lesson at a time using active learning. Participate in each lesson. Go slow to go fast, as the next lesson requires you to understand the previous one, because I build everything up from scratch using just-in-time knowledge. And every single lesson has new content. There's no revision in the masterclass, so don't skip a lesson. You'll miss something you need. I used to lecture first and second year statistics for many years, and I saw the horror and the fear that students have towards mathematics. So I taught both first and second year statistics from the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the easiest numbers you could get. Things don't have to be hard to be good, and what we're all about inside the masterclass is transfer of knowledge. And no previous background experience is required. Only knowledge creates profits in the market, and I'd like to thank all our incredible community for reaching out and sharing their thoughts. We have one of the best communities on YouTube, and sharing your BORSOG scores is a very powerful thing to do. The more you do so, the more in sync you'll get with the market. Please let me know your BORSOG score in the comments. It's really valuable for you to do. If you have friends or family who could benefit from positive excellence and what we do here each and every day, please introduce them to our community by sharing a video. We'd love to see them here, and they would be very welcome. And thank you also, Art, for sharing, and I hope your son is okay. And Art says, helping my son through the worst day of his career as a cop and military guy. I hope next time when you meet one of these guys or gals, you can give them a high five. They truly are the fence between the good guys and the bad, and it can get pretty ugly for them. It's very nice. And sending your son a very big high five. And to Nenad, who recently lost a family member, we're thinking of you and sending love to you and your family. It can be a really tough time. And to all the other global family members who are going through life pullbacks, and I know there's quite a few of them, our love is with you as well. You're not alone. You're part of a global family here. And I'd just like to thank everybody who made comments. It's really wonderful that you reach out and interact with each other. Before we buy or sell in the market, we have the CTKS Creed, which is a series of positive affirmations which prime us for profitability in the crypto market. I know the universe wants me to succeed. Every day I show kindness, integrity, and gratitude. I know opportunities in life reset daily. I am worthy. I go slow to go fast. I start small and scale with BORSOG. Life pullbacks give me the strength for the next life rally. I am dedicated and committed. I win or learn and never blame. If you'd like to apply for the partial scholarships, the link is in the description of this video. And please note, I assess people through their active learning and their commitment to CTKS principles. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.